Yo, what's up guys? It's Josh back with another video and welcome to the KeepItTechie channel. And today I got a super dope Linux tutorial that'll help y'all stay secure and private while surfing the web. Now, if you're like me, you love privacy focused tools that help you keep Big Brother and all those nosy trackers out of your business. That's why today we're checking out the Zen Browser, which is a privacy first browser based on Firefox, but with a little extra sauce to block trackers, ads, and just make your browsing experience way smoother. So let's get into it. Alright, so before we install it, let's talk about what makes Zen Browser special. And I'm at the Zen-Browser app webpage, and this is where you can get it. Right now it's in a beta, and I've been testing it out for the last couple of days just to see if I can replace my other browser that I use. Right now I use Vivaldi, and before that I was using Brave, and this actually came up in my search results. But just to give you a little bit about it, it's privacy focused, so it blocks trackers, ads, and all that annoying stuff by default. Now, one thing that made me look into this one a little more, I know a lot of people are upset with Firefox right now because of the change of service, but this is built on Firefox. And most of the browsers out there, especially privacy focused browsers, they're built on Chrome. Like for instance, those two I just named, Vivaldi and Brave, they are Chromium based browsers. But it's super cool to see another browser using Firefox as the base. So you'll get all the features that you get in Firefox, as well as the security updates that Mozilla roll out. Now, another thing I wanted to point out about the Zen browser is it's fast, and the Zen team keeps it running smooth and lightweight. They even got performance benchmarks to back it up. And let me show you guys that right fast. So if we go into their documentation, if you go over here on the left hand side, benchmarks. So they had a benchmarks right up in here. And they also have charts and all that stuff down up in here to compare it. So they're really doing their job to keep it lightweight and pretty fast. Now, another cool thing I like about this browser is it's open source. You guys know I love open source software, and Zen is fully open under the MPL 2.0 license. That means you could dig into the code and see what's going on. And you can also head over to their GitHub page, which is right here. I'll open it up in another tab so you guys can check it out. But here is all the repositories for it. So they even got themes and all kind of stuff in here. You can contribute to it and all that good stuff. And another thing about it, if you look within the GitHub, they do have two custom versions. One of them is the stable release, which is for everyday use, and then they have that Zen Twilight, and this is a development branch with all the latest cutting edge features. So if you want to get something stable for everyday use, I recommend you download that one. But if you want to play around with it, if it's like your secondary browser or something like that, then definitely check out the Zen Twilight. That way you can see a whole lot more of the features that they have within the browser, or the ones that are coming to the stable version. Now let me go down and switch over to my virtual machine so I can get this thing installed. It's in the Arch user repository, and so it'll be a quick install. But just to show you guys, it is cross-platform. I know I didn't point that out right away, but it's cross-platform, so you can install it on Windows, Linux, and Mac. So that's super cool to see. But we're going to install it on Linux, and there is some information on how to install it. If you go over to the Zen browser, you can click on desktop application, and then boom, you can go down in here and they have some installation instructions for you. So if you got Windows, there you go. You got the Mac OS, there you go. Use Brew, and then right now it's available on Arch, so it's in the user repository, so you can install it that way. And then there's also another way to actually install it using the app image. There's a install.shaw script you can download that'll install it, and you can just copy that and install it, and it should install on your other distros like Ubuntu or Debian based or something like that. But let's head over to my virtual machine and get this thing going. All right, so we're in the Mercury edition of Endeavor OS, and so let's go down and install Zen right fast. And all you have to do is open up a terminal, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. But Endeavor OS comes with yay installed by default, so you can type yay and then -s, and you normally want to update your system, and I just updated this system not that long ago, so it should be good to go. Shouldn't have any updates on here, and yeah, good to go. So we can type yay and then -S, and then Zen -browser, and then -B, press enter. I'll go down and get that installed on there. And one thing I should have showed you guys, let's see what we got here. If I go under, I believe, our settings. Actually, let's make sure this goes through. So let's press A, show any differences. And if we go under our start menu right fast, and I want to do this right fast before it fully installs, but if you click on the welcome screen, that'll open this back up right fast. You can go in here under assistant, and I'm only showing you this so you guys can see. And if you click under tips, and you can click on AUR and yay, this will open up the browser and you can check it out and get more information about the AUR. And it also breaks down the yay actual installer, so you can check out these 2 articles. They'll help you out if you need some help with yay, which is not that difficult to do or use. But let's go down and press Y to finish getting this installed, and boom, we're good. So Zen Browser is installed, and that's one cool thing I like about Endeavor. They have a lot of help. So for anyone that's like new to Arch Linux, there's a whole bunch of help within this distribution that you can access via this welcome screen. For real, we don't need it anymore, and we can exit out the terminal, and we should be able to find Zen under here. We could type it in, should be under here. Yeah, there we go. Zen Browser, boom. Now open up the application for us. And so welcome to a calmer internet. So let's go through the intro right fast. What it's going to do is import just like any other one. You can set Zen as your default. We can skip. I'm gonna just leave it not, because this is just a virtual machine. I won't keep this around, but your key tabs always within reach, so it just breaks out some of your stuff. You got workspaces on here, and a lot of browsers are now adding these workspaces. I know in Vivaldi they have it, so it's good to see. But you can select your color, you can change it up, make some of this stuff look the way you want it to look. I'm gonna just choose green, that's fine, and we're all set. So let's dive into the browser. And so if you check it out, man, it's a super clean browser. I mean, you guys can see how everything is just so smooth. You see how the close button and the minimize button and the maximize button, it hides. That is super dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me click on something right fast and just open up a website. So this is Reddit. You can dive into a website without as many distractions. You ain't got to worry about the toolbar up there, all that stuff. It's just all hidden for you, and it just looks super clean in my opinion. And you can go through and do whatever you want with this thing. And I recommend you guys check out the Zen Browser Reddit. I'm actually joined to it because people put out a lot of good information on how to actually use it and different changes and things that are coming or things that have been released. They'll show you how to use it right up in here in Zen Browser, or you can ask within the Reddit. Different workspaces, so you can add another one. Let's say you want to name this one personal or something. And really what these workspaces are, or they're considered like containers. So it contains all the different websites that you want to have in that container, and they can be logged into different accounts and all that good stuff. So that's one cool thing about the workspaces, and you can go back and forth between them. You see how easy that is? You can just go right back to your other workspace. Now, one cool thing about it, all you have to do is go to Mozilla to find the extensions, so you can put all your other extensions on there. Like for instance, uBlock Origin, Bitwarden. If you use any of those tools, then you can definitely just get them right on in here by searching and finding whatever add-on you want for it or extension. And also themes and stuff like that. But like I said, it's Firefox based, so a lot of this stuff should work on the browser. I haven't tried it all, but a lot of it does. Let me go up in the settings right fast so I can show you guys a little bit about some more things. So you got your language and appearances. You can change, you can add extensions. You can set the appearance to dark, light. All that stuff is pretty standard that you'll see in most browsers. Your download directories, what to do when certain files are accessed. And then you got some other browsing features down here, like for instance, smooth scrolling, which is on right now by default, and that's super dope. And I'm running this in a virtual machine, and I'm connected via Spice, but this is awesome the way they have this thing set up. So if you go under look and feel, this will give you some more settings you could change. Like for instance, you can add a single toolbar, you can have multiple toolbars, and you can also have a collapsed toolbar over here on the left. You can go single toolbar, which I like that. But you can go back to the normal way of seeing a browser, how you got your bar up here, your website bar up here at the top, or you can go back to it. You can change the colors, you can make it look the way you want it. You see how to change the accent colors and all that stuff. You can modify it however you want to. Up in here, this looked a whole lot better, at least for what I got. Now, theme settings, then you got your side panel settings, enable web side panels. And one thing that's super cool is you can have multiple websites on the same page. And I'll show you guys that in a couple minutes. It's called split view. Let's turn that on. I wish it came on by default, and I wish the other browsers had this feature. This is super cool right here. You can have multiple websites. Let's say you're trying to reference another website while typing in another one. You can have two of those tabs open side by side within the browser. All right, now let me go through a few more settings right fast. So you got your tab settings. So this is your workspace settings, your tab unloader, pin tabs, all that stuff. You can set your default or reset it all, close all the tabs and all that good stuff. Then you got your keyboard shortcuts. That's one cool thing right here. They got a whole bunch of keyboard shortcuts. You can change them up as you see fit. And I wanted to come in here anyway, because I need to always look at like the shortcuts to open up the split view. So it's Alt Control U. So that's good. That'll open up. Oh, that's actually closing it. So toggle split view horizontal and vertical. And then you got your grids as well. Now you got your Zen mods. I'm not going to go in there, but it's a store that you can go check out with tools and plugins for Zen Browser specifically. So you guys can check that out on your own. You can set your home settings. So you got weather. It's just shortcuts, all your basic setup. Search, you can set your search default engine. So I would always change that to DuckDuckGo if I was using. This is like a temporary system. But then you also have your privacy settings. And so one thing I always do is at least go in here and make sure enhanced tracking protection is set to strict. And you can click here and that'll put it all on there, and you can restart all the tabs. And then now you got a little bit more protection, like for instance, stronger protection, but may cause some sites or content to break. But hey, if you've been using strict on Firefox, then you know what it is when you put it on here, because it'll try to block those social media trackers, cross-site cookies in all windows, tracking content, all that good stuff. Crypto miners, known as suspected fingerprint, it'll block all that stuff for you. So I recommend you change those settings. You can sync it if you want to set up an account, and that's one cool thing about it. You can sign up to it if you want to. And then you got your Firefox Labs, so you can play around with that. You got your AI chat bots and all that other stuff up in here. And that's pretty much it for the settings that I wanted to show you guys. But like I said, this is a dope browser. I'm really enjoying it. Like I have it on my main system, and I've been switching back and forth between Vivaldi and Zen just to see if I want to go down and switch to it, which I'm leaning more to switching to it. But like I said, this is a new browser, so they're still working out kinks and bugs and all that stuff. So you may run into a few issues unless you have that stable version. It should be pretty stable, but all your features may not work. I've ran into issues where some of those shortcuts wouldn't work properly. And actually, speaking of that, let's try one right fast. Let's open up two browsers in there. And there we go. We got the Reddit website over here, and we got the Zen Twitter account or X account over here. What you're supposed to be able to do is hit Control Alt U, and that'll close one of them. So that actually worked this time. I know on my main system I had some trouble with it closing that second tab. You know what I'm saying? I had to close both of them. I ran into an issue like that, but seems like they may have got that solved. And I probably haven't updated. That's why I need to update my system. But that is Zen Browser. So my final verdict, is Zen Browser worth using? If you want privacy and speed, then I say yes. Zen gives you that Firefox level security with better defaults right out the box. And then also, if you hate ads and trackers, absolutely try out Zen. This will be a replacement for Brave or Vivaldi like I use, and it's a way cleaner setup, especially if you want to get away from a Chromium based browser, which I've been looking for. The project is fully transparent, and you can even contribute if you want to. But if you already have a customized Firefox setup, then Zen might not be a huge upgrade. It's basically Firefox with some tweaks. So if you already modded Firefox for privacy, you're really not missing too much. But either way, I say try it out, especially if you're on Orch and love testing new privacy focused browsers. All right, so that's it for today. We installed the Zen browser on Orch, got it up and running, and tweaked some settings to lock it down even further. But let me know in the comments if you're gonna try Zen browser, or if you have another favorite privacy browser you use currently. And as always, go down and hit that like button if this video helped you. Also subscribe to the KeepItTechie channel for more Linux and open source content. I'm close to hitting my goal of 100,000 subscribers, so if you can, please help me out with that. But follow me on Odyssey, because you already know how these platforms get when you start talking about privacy. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you stay safe out there, and of course, keep it tech. Yo, what's up, y'all? Listen, if you've been sitting there thinking about making a move, let me tell you, tech is where it's at. I don't care where you coming from, whether you've got a degree, a GED, or just pure hustle. There's room for you in this game. You see, tech is more than just keyboards and code. It's solving problems, creating opportunities, and building the future. You already have what it takes, because tech doesn't care where you start. It cares where you're willing to go. You could teach yourself Linux, learn Python, break into cybersecurity, or even launch your own app. And the resources are out here for free. And yes, you heard me, free. Now, yeah, it's gonna take effort. You'll have to grind, but think about this. The time is gonna pass anyway. So why not invest it in a skill that'll change your life? I mean, tech doesn't just pay the bills, it opens doors to freedom, stability, and generational wealth. So stop doubting yourself, start small, stay consistent, and keep building. Because this isn't just a career, it's a movement. And guess what? You belong here. So let's get it, because the future is yours to build. Keep it techie.